Listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening. A mother and a daughter were found dead after a house fire in the 2900 block of Old Plank Road in Neshannock Township Thursday morning. Police are calling the deaths murder-suicide. Police Chief John Rand says both victims died of a single gunshot wound to the head before the fire. The cause of the fire has not been determined. A bomb threat shut down multiple government buildings in downtown Youngstown yesterday. This happened after 911 dispatchers in Austintown got 2 calls saying there were 4 explosives at the Common Pleas Courthouse. Repeated searches of the buildings didn't find anything. Court appearances scheduled yesterday will be rescheduled. Youngstown Councilman Julius Oliver toured the chill can plants, and he's optimistic about future production. Oliver was given a personal tour of the chill can plants by owner Mitchell Joseph. He said he's convinced there will be progress. Questions have been raised lately on when or if anything would ever be made there. A completion date is set for the new multimedia center at Stambaugh Stadium. The $3 million project is funded in part by a $1 million gift from the founder of Falcon Transport, Don Constantini. It will house a classroom for the YSU Department of Communications and host game day media activities for all Stambaugh Stadium events. The completion date is September 6th. A house fire in Lawrence County last night has left a family living there looking for another place to stay. It happened on Deer Creek Road in Pulaski Township shortly before 6 p.m. Several departments responded to the fire. Nobody was hurt. Youngstown police are investigating an exchange of gunfire that left a man hurt. It happened early Wednesday morning, according to a police report. Police say a 38-year-old man showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound after police went to the 1500 block of Dogwood Lane on a report of a shooting. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Need an AC checkup? Call Mazda's Air Conditioning in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Sunshine for your Saturday. Highs will be in the upper 80s, mostly sunny skies with an isolated storm chance later tonight. Temperatures will fall to the mid-60s. In Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
All right, I've had insomnia for many, many years, and I got to tell you, the one relief I have gotten is My Pillow. I fall asleep faster, I stay asleep longer, and you can too. It just works. I met Mike Lindell. He's the inventor of My Pillow. I got fitted for my very own My Pillow, and it has changed my life in so many ways for the better. And right now, Mike is offering his lowest price ever on radio or TV. You get a 2-pack of My Pillow's premium pillows, $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. Now, this offer is only available at mypillow.com or call toll-free 800-919-6090. Just use the promo code Hannity. My Pillow, made in the USA, 60-day unconditional money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. Don't spend more sleepless nights on a pillow not working for you. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity, 800-919-6090. You'll get a 2-pack premium pillows, $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. MyPillow.com, promo code.
Tired for no reason? Muscle weakness or high blood pressure? The cause can be as simple as a vitamin D deficiency. People in Northeast Ohio and Western PA don't make enough vitamin D, and it affects their health. Listen this Sunday morning at 7 a.m. for more information. That's Sunday at 7 a.m.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is the show that we get to do here on weekends. Get to talk about things that are happening in tech and science and physics and anything else that might rock the boat a little bit. So all program long, if you want to get on the phone lines, ask any questions or contribute to the program anyway, feel free, 330-729-9977. You can also text me all program long, so if you're too shy to get on the phone lines and you just want to lend some criticisms or contributions, feel free. 333-1570 is the text line. And again, I'll be reading those on air all program long. Right off the get-go, I mean, we missed a bunch of shows here. And usually during this time, we get an Indians interruption or some kind of sports interruption. But this was all me. I just took a break away, did a week's-long vacation. And I never used to be able to get away. I mean, the job is such. So many people depend on me being around here that I have this obligation to make sure everybody gets covered, even if I have to go away. And so, I'll sneak in an extra day on a weekend, a holiday weekend or something like that, but it's never that I'm able to go away for a week and everybody gets covered. But I'm going to give credit to my staff. They covered me while I was gone. I didn't walk back into any kind of crises. It was just amazing. So I'm so blessed that we've gotten to the point company-wide that my staff had everything locked down and did it, and laid down some cover fires so I could walk away. And it is really important. I mean, you can only do so many years of that in a row without being able to disconnect. But what we picked, and I'm a little bit of a recluse. I know it's really hard to believe that when a guy goes on the radio and talks like I do, that in social situations, I'm not the best communicator. I'd rather be wallflower and watch what's going on than be communicative and have conversations. But anyway, my kind of vacation is a cruise because you don't have to do much. Once you're off, you're off. The best thing about it is that the technology goes on the shelf and it doesn't come off until you come back. It's not that you don't want to do it, it's that you can't do it because it disconnects and then you can't do it. And that is a huge benefit to the vacation. Because if I go to another place, amusement park, my phone still can ding. And so if I have it and it's working, I have it in my pocket, and that's just a bad mistake. So I can't do it, so I don't do it. But what it revealed on the vacation is that how many reactions of mine were to go grab my phone, get back to the room and you sit down for a second and you lose the ability to, my wife's getting ready or my kid's getting ready or whatever, and I don't have anything to do. You want to pick up your phone, and that's the way you fill in time. You're in a waiting room in a doctor's office. You pick up your phone, and that's the way that you bide time. And I was annoyed by myself by how much my brain just latched on to go grab a piece of technology. And when you open it up, there's nothing there, right? You can't get anywhere. The internet doesn't work. There aren't any messaging. You can't read news. You don't see text messages. You don't check your email. All the things that were dependent on, I couldn't do. And I loved it and I hated it at the same time because I loved it that I couldn't do it, and I hated it that I wanted to. And that is, I'm telling you, it is 100% psychological addiction, and it reveals itself like that. And I take it really serious that there was a Black Mirror, and it's a Netflix series about, it's a sort of like a Twilight Zone for the tech field. So if you haven't watched any Black Mirror episodes, do it. And they all have a lot of them, like the cautionary tales of artificial intelligence. But this one was the addiction, right before I left on the trip, the addiction to social media. And the dopamine responses we get from doing social media and doing our phones and getting the vibrations. So on one hand, I'm really glad that I got to break away. On another hand, as soon as I got back, it was like watching sand fill back into the crevasses. When you get back and you have tech, then you get all caught up on your email and you're right back in that stinking cycle. And I love this industry. I love innovation. I love technology. I just hate the addictive side of whatever it is we do. So you can kind of lay out the groundwork. If you've got kids or grandkids that are getting started in technology, and us as good parents, we think we're kind of saving them from screen time and from that addiction. But in reality, if that is what the world is composed of, don't you want your kid to be the best at what it's composed of? So being in front of a screen, can you picture the future of your kid or your grandkids not being in front of the screen for everything they do? I mean, they come home from work, they're in front of a screen. They go to work, they're in front of a screen. And I don't really see it breaking from that. So anyway, I want to thank everybody on my staff for covering for me where I'm gone. And just that little highlight. I mean, as far as traveling technology, I like to talk about this stuff when I go, but from year to year, I mean, nothing's really, has innovated much in traveling. Sure, we're getting faster and communication between different things, or we're consolidating some travel and it gets a little bit easier, but there's nothing like life-changing on the travel front. So, you can put your ticket, you can put your tickets on your phone and it gives you a little QR code, and that's fun and all. But I don't know. I just think that the travel's still a little cumbersome. I think it could be done maybe a little bit easier, and I think we're beholden to still some analog processes. So maybe in the future we'll see some technology come to light that will make travel a little bit easier. But so nothing to really report, nothing life changing on that front. we did, Youngstown. I know most of you listen to the show notice that when we do promote ourselves on this program, we tell you kind of what we've been working on. We go through these cycles of we got commercial services and then residential services, and we got all these things that we do. And at different times, we're developing and hiring, and we got into manufacturing for a little while. And we always kind of keep you guys abreast of what we're doing, so that this area is super good about supporting, people who do things in this area for a living. I mean, if we want to keep our brain drain from leaking into other markets and keep our smartest here, we have to support people who are really making an effort here. And over the course of what we've done, I would say we've gone from 4 or 5 employees. High as 8 employees, and so it's a rough going to make something work. In any area, business is tough, and I really appreciate the support from the community. You guys have always dealt with us, and even through our thick and thin times, you've always been there and whatnot. But we fortunately were able to add 2 field staff. You notice we haven't mentioned our commercials at all on any of these programs. It's because we were maxed out. We needed to hire someone like it was no tomorrow. And we put our emphasis on field staff, and we just needed some really good, talented people. So we've got Jonathan, who'll be starting with our company next week. He's going to be tag teaming with me. I'll take him out in the field, show him our ways, and maybe I'll spend some time later in the show kind of spelling out the differentiation. I don't want to hog the show up too much talking about Youngstown Computer, but I just wanted to I felt like bringing that out on the front end, thanking everybody for constantly doing what you do, because it is very much appreciated. If you're out and about today, they are having the Youngstown Flea downtown, so make sure you take a couple minutes and go shop and support the vendors that set up down there. Our good friend Derek McDowell runs that. And I'm telling you, every time we kind of take a glance at what's happening downtown, there's new stuff to talk about and add. So I really appreciate, again, the public always supporting the efforts made downtown, and the people that are putting their neck out a little bit to get things sparked. You guys have been great about supporting those guys. And honestly, we can fill our weekends pretty well with events that are happening just in our own neighborhoods, rather than sending that money out to other markets. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So congratulations to all of us. So we on social media, I threw out there that we're going to talk about Tesla. Well, it's not Tesla. It's Elon Musk. This dude has 20 companies, and there's some pretty advanced stuff that this company is working on, and this one's called Neuralink. And this is sort of like a very secretive company. So he has his company with Tesla, and he has his company with SpaceX, and he has his company with the flamethrower company, Boring Company. That's right. So they manufacture not flamethrowers. They didn't call it flamethrower. They call it not flamethrowers, and the company is called Boring Company. Anyway, but they have a company that is managing their Neuralink system, and they're studying, you have advanced artificial intelligence, and for this is interfacing technology and computers with people's brains. This is like connecting human, biological, with technological. And so just me saying that without even knowing any details, there's immediately some stuff that rushes up into your brain, knowing that, whether or not this is a good idea or a bad idea, or there's some dangers in it, or there's some benefits to it. The only thing you really know is that it's coming, just like artificial intelligence is, a million slivers closer to artificial intelligence being, when all of us were growing up, we all had simple artificial intelligence. Computers making really simple decisions that, were almost annoyingly simple. But now there are decisions being made that are complicated to the point where we don't even know how the decisions are being made. But as long as they're correct and accurate, then we're willing to allow machines to make more decisions. I'll give you an example. And this is one where I can see very, very soon will be managed by computers, artificial intelligence. So you ever middle of the night, you pull up to a red light and there's no traffic in any direction, and yet you sit there for 45 seconds at a red light when you really didn't have to? Well, it's because that red light is on a mechanical timer, or it could be a digital timer, but it counts down and it says, Here's during this time, this is how long the red light lasts. It can't make a decision that when there's no traffic or whatever, it's not dynamic enough to make a decision to make that light any shorter because it doesn't have any kind of intelligence. The lack of intelligence is that it can just count down seconds, and that's been good enough up to this point. Well, what happens when we allow a traffic light to make a decision? Okay, well, simple is usually safer until the complicated is proven out. So how are we using this? We're not allowing artificial intelligence to do dangerous things yet. We're letting artificial intelligence deliver products to our house and tell us what the time is and whatnot. And it makes these complicated jumps, different dimensional jumps in conversations. And then we get more comfortable when you can't tell that the artificial intelligence is happening. You know that it's sort of ready for prime time. So all of you out there that are listening, are you ready for, machines to start making more decisions? Because, I mean, you're going to benefit from the convenience of, the red light not sitting there for 20 seconds when it's not letting cars go in the other direction, right? You'll benefit because it'll turn green on you right then. But then the people who say that when these systems start making decisions, who's feeding them the logic behind making those decisions? It's we get afraid now because, I mean, all right, well, we hope that the people who program this stuff are smart people. How many of them really are smart? And do we have someone? Because it's always this: we expect our governments to do brilliant things. When it goes bad, we're like, well, why didn't you think of that? And now going into these things where we have artificial intelligence and we have people's brains tapped in where they connect to technology, we can start deciding right now the policies that we want the people who develop it to take. And we also can say, government, let's regulate this because these are kind of dangerous things that all of us are going to have a consequence if we get this wrong. And this train started, and there's a couple of YouTube videos with Elon about the dangers of artificial intelligence, and he's the guy that's developing it, and he's sharing the scariest parts of this. So if he's sharing the scariest parts, he can't dress that up and say that because he benefits from the technology being used, and if he's saying he's scared of what it could do, we're putting all of our faith that Elon's going to come up with the master plan and the principles and the policies. And I don't necessarily think that our government regulators are good at the proactive side. I think they've always been better at after it happens than managing the situation. Well, I think this honestly has to be something where we decide how we want it to be before it starts happening. Because I don't want any of our people to be guinea pigs to getting it wrong, and it has the potential, life or death, getting it wrong. Computers can make decisions that don't necessarily take humanity and emotion and people into consideration. What if technology decides that you are expendable? I mean, what do you want to come in the way of a computer or a robot or a traffic light deciding that it's going to bail on you? You're not important enough. You don't contribute enough, and so on and so forth. So it's one of those things where it's worth talking about. So if you have anything that you can add to the conversation, please give me a call, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the Youngstown computer stuff because I will be doing an additional hire. We've already done 2 in the next couple of weeks, but we're going to hire another one come fall. So I wanted to set everyone up and know that's coming down the pike as well. So the talent search is one of my favorite things because I think it's another one of those analog processes that we still participate in that could be done so much better. Why are we on a resume and an interview model? I mean, we have digital stuff on everybody, and we have Indeeds, and we have Monster, and we have all of these people that have databases of who we are. Why can't there be algorithms that start matching up talent between people who are looking for things? It seems like everybody I talked to in the business world are looking for experienced people, and then how is it that it seems like experienced good people are so hard to find for these people? Anyway, I think technology could play a major role in lining people up with the work that they will love. So, all right, we're going to take this break. We'll come back, 330-729-9977, and then you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
U.S. Iranian nuclear.
Cops' lives matter too.
I'm sorry about that.
It's the biggest movement of people in Europe. If you're not scared, you will be.
Did you get all that?
Shut down.
Stay connected.
We are all connected.
News feeds.
The War Machine.
On 570 WKDN.
From iHeartRadio, #1 for podcasts, Noble Blood.
I'm Dana Schwartz, and I'm the host of Noble Blood, a new history podcast from iHeartRadio and Aaron Mahnke that focuses on the stories of some of history's most fascinating royals, from the infamous to the almost forgotten. The world is full of ill-fated love affairs, bad decisions, and family drama. And when you're wearing a crown, mistakes tend to be deadly.
Close your eyes. You can almost feel it. The nip of Jack Frost in the air. The sounds of holiday cheer. Smell the fresh pine and holiday treats. But it's July, right? Christmas in July. The Animal Welfare League of Trumbull County is hosting the area's largest Christmas in July sale. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, July 19th through the 21st. Literally thousands of Christmas items from their menagerie, thrift, and gift shop will be displayed at the shelter on Belmont Avenue. Hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday and Saturday and 10 to 2 on Sunday. All proceeds benefit the Animal Welfare League of Trumbull County.
Is your child's foot comfort important to you? If it is, you need to get your kids some Skechers. You see, at Skechers, we're the comfort and fit specialists, and we've taken all this comfort and fit knowledge and applied it to the cutest, most comfortable boys and girls shoes on the planet. They're soft and flexible while still being durable. They're also super fashionable, have comfort innovations like Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam, and most importantly, they're affordable. Get your kids some Skechers at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Hey, it's Ron Verb. I see all the people with the carpeting and other flooring on the curb for garbage night, and I feel sad for them because of all the rain that we've been having and sump pumps that have been failing. And I let them know that Nature Stone is the only answer for their basements because Nature Stone stands up to moisture, dampness, even flooding. It has hydrostatic ports in it to allow water to simply evaporate. Let me tell you this, when it comes to your basement flooring, you need Nature Stone. And get up to 50% off by the end of July. Go to naturestone.com, naturestone.com, naturestone.com.
Watch out, Ohio. Special interest groups are at the State House, and it's going to cost you. Right now, thousands of Ohio workers' jobs are at risk, and our electric bills are set to rise. All because out-of-state special interest groups want to eliminate competition and create a monopoly on Ohio energy. But Representative Don Manning is taking a stand to protect you and our state. By supporting House Bill 6, Manning is working to save over 4,000 Ohio jobs, lower our electric bills, and stop the special interest groups' takeover of our state. Representative Manning is ensuring Ohio energy is made in Ohio, by Ohio workers, for Ohio families. Call Representative Don Manning at 614-466-6107. Thank him for having the courage to take a stand against out-of-state special interests to save your money and our jobs. More jobs, lower bills for Ohio. Paid for by Generation Now, Inc.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. This is your Saturday show where we talk about things that might be happening in tech. Got a call lined up. Let's go right out to Steve. Steve, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good morning, or good afternoon. How are you?
Real good, thank you.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about AI, and there's a commercial you guys have that talk about, wonder when AI is going to be unbiased. And my curiosity to you is, what happens when AI is unbiased, but it presents results or conclusion that people perceive to be biased? For example, if there's a police force out there that uses AI to determine where to dispatch people proportionally based upon the crime rates of the area. And apparently the dispatching and the patrols of those officers were in areas that were predominantly of a different demographic that people weren't liking. So what happens, what I'm fearful of is with AI, you're not just going to have a completely unbiased thing that is factually based. But what you're going to have is people trying to put their nose into it and actually it's no longer AI, but actually manufacture what is perceived as AI, but is really just people pushing a narrative. Like Google, for example, with their algorithms and their search results. Good luck finding the FBI statistics by race for criminal activity anymore because it's hidden.
Yeah.
And that's the point. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are with AI when it actually when it gives a conclusion of results that aren't necessarily politically correct.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. And here's my response. And I think what ends up happening is we're going to push the responsibility of these decisions onto computers because we're going to want this binary approach to it being an unbiased, result. Because we have corruption here, right, with human beings, but human beings are slower than computers. So the corruption takes longer to fester, takes longer to propagate, takes longer to be effective. But when you're moving at the speed of electrical current, those same types of biases and things that we wouldn't want to experience happen just a little bit faster. And so I think what ends up happening is, like you said, we end up giving it over to the computers. But then, the risk is, I'll give you an example. Let's just say we did speed camera tickets and we had computers take over, right? And then the speed cameras, they don't take breaks. They just sit up there. And now everybody that goes by gets a ticket. The rule set or what it does ends up being too immense because it really not emotional. Let's just say everybody was speeding and the ticket guy's just going boom, 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 boom. How long can you do that before you just bankrupt everybody? And now it's not tickets. It's just we bankrupted the entire population because now everybody owes the government $500 billion. And now, it end up being, too much. So anyway, it's the system that Bitcoin uses is sort of like a public. I'm gonna spend some time with how Bitcoin works because I think that becomes our answer with AI. So let me give you the little premise: is the Bitcoin as a currency doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That technology we're using as a currency, yeah, but I think the technology that makes the currency work is something that's a little bit better when it comes to voting and transaction of money and stuff like we're talking about here, like making these binary decisions. So I'll put when we come back from the next break, I'll give a little bit about Bitcoin and why I think that technology is what we want to look at. As far as what governs how it works, but it's always going to come down to policy and what we agree or disagree with. And if we're transparent about how these machines are deciding things, and we have some ways of making, instead of human beings making those problems, like why don't we trust voting machines? Well, it's because we can't see what's happening. We don't know that someone's going in there and just changing things en masse. So that's why we don't trust it, because the human being is fallible, but a machine, like a digital machine, he could do millions of votes versus a paper thing where that one fallible person might only be able to do 15 votes or 100 votes or whatever. So anyway, thanks for the call, Steve. 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. We'll take a break. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.
The Ohio Department of Agriculture is working with farmers to safeguard the fruits and vegetables grown here. To prevent foodborne illnesses, federal law now requires certain farmers to take steps that ensure fruits and vegetables are grown and processed in a sanitary way. Ohio wants to help farmers comply with this law. Visit agri.ohio.gov and search produce safety to learn more about the law and about produce safety assessments, offered on-farm and at no cost to Ohio growers.
Sponsored by the Ohio Department of Agriculture, aired by the OAB and this station.
Here's what's happening. Police are calling the deaths a murder-suicide after two people were found dead after a house fire in the 2900 block of Old Plank Road in Neshannock Township. A bomb threat shut down multiple government buildings in downtown yesterday. It happened after 911 dispatchers in Austintown received two calls saying there were explosives at the Common Pleas Courthouse. Youngstown Councilman Julius Oliver toured the Chilcan plants. He's optimistic about the future. Questions have been raised lately on when or if anything would ever be made there. A completion date is set for the new multimedia center at Stambaugh Stadium. The completion date is September 6th. A house fire in Lawrence County left the family living there looking for another place to stay. It happened on Deer Creek Road in Pulaski Township. Youngstown police are investigating gunfire that left one man hurt in the 1500 block of Dogwood Lane. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. From the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's. For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Sunshine for your Saturday. Highs will be in the upper 80s, mostly sunny skies with an isolated storm chance later tonight. Temperatures will fall to the mid-60s. In Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
The Nikki Fiesel Foundation presents Fire and Thunder at the Hollow. Join me, Fast Freddy, at 93.3 The Wolf on Saturday, July 27th for the 9th annual Nikki Fiesel Cystic Fibrosis Explosion of Hope benefit at Buffalo Hollow in Petersburg. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow is going to be bigger and better than before. 4 fireworks shows, choreographed to music, skydivers if the weather permits, camping, and so much more. Gates open at 4. Tickets at NikkiFieselFoundation.org. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow, Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it.
Update your backyard and get 11% off landscape blocks now at Menards. Create an attractive outdoor space with Menards' great selection of concrete landscape blocks. Whether it's flawless landscaping or a sturdy retaining wall, there's no limit to what you can create. Right now, get 11% off all landscape and patio blocks. Save with 11% off everything at Menards. Good through July 13th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
You know, I remember smoking was socially acceptable. Everybody pretty much was doing it. People smoked in malls and restaurants, even on airplanes. Now you get a lot of disapproving looks, especially from loved ones. So after many years of me smoking, I finally made the switch to Juul. Now there's no more worrying about the way my clothes smell or worrying about what people are going to say, because with Juul, everything is so much easier. Juul is a vaporizer that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. Now, Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to cigarettes. Juul has no cigarette ash, 0 odor, no mess. So if you're one of the 34 million adults in America that smoke, well, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Just go to Juul.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. And warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show where we talk about things that are happening in tech. We sort of, after the last break, we were talking about AI and how to really keep it under control, you know, get the benefits that AI and this stuff offers, but still having the policies and principles built in, a way of keeping it under control so it doesn't escape us, and then we're at a real disadvantage if it gets smarter than us and we don't really have the rule set that is governing it. So what I suggested, what I like about the Bitcoin technology, and for those of you who don't know, this is how it works. So Bitcoin is basically this really amazingly big transaction log. Every Bitcoin transaction that has happened from the beginning of time is located in this big, think of a text file that each line represents a transfer of value from address to address, right? That's all Bitcoin is. So that the people who participate with Bitcoin, they allow the system to use their computer, and they're allowed to process, or they're allowing their computer to be used in the system that processes the transactions into a log that's sitting on their computer. And so now if I have 1 million computers running, you know, participating in this transaction, this transaction system, all 1,000 or all 1 million of those computers have the identical copy of the transaction log. So I might be able to go in there and go into this transaction log and throw some balances in there and hijack it and say, hey, I'm going to take my address and I'm going to add 100 Bitcoins into my address. Well, the rest of everybody else who's on the system, their log doesn't agree with my log, so it kicks mine out and it doesn't let it participate. So the theory is that if you have enough people participating in this and they each have these logs, you can't compromise enough of those logs to make its way, because it's basically an agreement system where 51% of the people agree that your transaction isn't supposed to be in there. Then in 10 minutes, within 10 minutes, it kicks it out. It does not agree that it's supposed to be there, and nobody recognizes the transaction. So that decentralizes. It doesn't let a human being decide. It doesn't let even a computer decide. It's just a formula that either authenticates something and it doesn't authenticate. And authentication is really difficult. They make it really difficult, but it's happening so fast that a difficult thing only takes less than 10 minutes for it to happen the way that it should. And that's why I'm saying important things. If you gave, let's just say you gave someone a key and said, hey, you can go to my house and open my house, and here's the key to do it, but 4 of my neighbors have to agree for the door to actually open. So there's 2. You have the key, and right now the key just opens everything. It doesn't care what it is, but now you have to have an agreement for that lock mechanism to respond to your key. That's sort of how it is. And so you might be able to convince one of my neighbors that you're supposed to be there, but all 4 of them, someone's going to raise a stink, and it's too much effort to be able to get into my house because of it. So I appreciate that phone call. Thank you, Steve. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Chris next. Chris, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, good afternoon. I have a problem with my Dell Inspiron laptop computer.
Sure, go ahead.
It's an Inspiron 15 3000 series, and I got Windows 8.1. I got a blue screen on it, and I went into the setup, where the boot setup is, and it said that I had a hard drive failure. Okay, so I also can get into safe mode with the computer. Does that mean that it's a mechanical failure, or does it mean there's something else failure since I can get into the safe mode?
Well, sometimes those error messages are really generic, and they're intended to kind of point you in a certain direction. If it says that the hard drive failure, it doesn't necessarily mean the hard drive's dead. It could be the formatting of the partition or the data that's actually on there. It could be the controller board, no doubt, but it's sort of an indication that you probably need to test the physical drive first. And do you know what type of drive it is by chance?
No, I don't. It doesn't list it anywhere, and doesn't even list the Windows type of Windows it is.
Gotcha. If you take on the bottom a panel off the bottom compartment, there's one of them that allows you to slide the hard drive out. If you can see what manufacturer it is, like if it's Western Digital or if it's the brand name, you can go to their website and download a diagnostics tool that will evaluate the drive and see if it's in good condition. And if it passes all the tests and it says it's in good condition, you might be able to just reformat that drive and then reload it, and then you're back in business again. Is there important data on there by chance?
No, I have a backup, external backup to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that, but I couldn't even get to my backup. When I go into safe mode, it doesn't show the backup external drive. It shows the UBS connection, but it doesn't show the files on the hard drive. It's the backup hard drive itself.
Yeah, you probably don't want to back that up, because if the problem is part of the data that's on there, you might just be putting the same complication back on the drive. So you check the drive.
I had a previous backup. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm saying. The problem could have existed when the backup was created. So I'd check out the physical part of the drive first before you do anything with the backup. And if the drive passes, you might find that the drive is just bad. Get the replacement drive, and then you can put the backup back on the new hard drive.
Okay, so in essence, I go into the manufacturer of the hard drive and get their diagnostic tool.
That's probably your best bet. Yep.
And put that into the UBS drive and let it run it and see what happens then.
Exactly. Get a bootable flash drive or a CD or DVD, something like that. Yep.
Okay. If I need a hard drive, where's the best vendor to buy a hard drive at?
If you want to buy it local, there's not a whole lot of price difference between ordering online and getting one local. Best Buy, I think you can get a small drive for, I don't know, $50 or $60. There's 2 sizes. There's the desktop version, the 3.5s, and then there's the laptop versions that are 2.5. And the solid state drives that you can get just down the road, that might be sufficient. So you can get them local, but if you can't find what you're looking for local, you can always go to Newegg or Amazon or something like that and order it.
Okay. If I needed a new hard drive, if I reformat that hard drive by the diagnostic tool that's there, does it automatically put Windows 8.1 in there, or is it just formats that hard drive?
It's going to format it. You're going to want to use the boot media. Either a Windows flash drive or a Windows bootable CD to reload the operating system. Because once you put that disk in there, then you can go back and restore your backup from your external drive.
Okay, so you're saying I have to put the Windows 8.1 software on that hard drive.
Correct, because
it
it'll
doesn't do
be
that automatically with the
exactly
the
when you boot to that CD or that DVD, it will put the operating system back on that drive.
When I boot with the external Windows 8.1.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so it'll pick it up and then automatically do it.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. And that's the one benefit of having your computer image, the software, the system state, or the data onto an external drive is if you hit this problem where these mechanical drives, they fail. I mean, it's a for sure thing that this stuff is going to go bad on you. And it's really helpful to be able to – we use a product called Acronis. And what we can do with Acronis is we can take a snapshot of everything that's on the hard drive, everything from the boot, the partition information, the data, everything that's on the drive. It is a snapshot of everything of everything that's on that drive, so that if my drive goes bad, I can take a brand new hard drive and overlay that image right on the new hard drive, and the computer boots up identically how it did when the image was taken. And so if you do a data backup, you have to reload everything. You have to reload the operating system. You have to reload your programs. And then once those are done, then you can bring your data back in. But if you do a system state, it's a lot, some of us that truly customize our computers, our desktops custom, our applications are custom. If you spent more than 10 hours putting your stuff on your computer, you're probably going to want to do a system state. If you look at your computer and say, this looks like every single computer that I get in front of, that I've ever been in front of, I have a browser and I have my mail client. It takes you less than an hour to set up your software. Then you don't want to waste your time doing systems snapshots. You're better off just reloading the machine and then bringing whatever documents that you have back in. I would say out of all the terminals that I use, most of them are dumb terminals where I can get to my cloud storage, and everything that I use day to day is on cloud storage. Everything else I could download with Office 365 and my Adobe stuff, and I'm back in business within a couple minutes. I don't bother making very many system state ones because it's so easy to load the operating system now. Speaking of which, and I'll save some details on this for later in the program, but the remainder of this year, okay, all the way through January of 2020, that means that we have the remainder of 2019 to start migrating ourselves from Windows 7 or Windows 8 or anything older to Windows 10. And, we kind of been giving you the green light to stay on Windows 7 as long as you're comfortable. But as soon as they stop, supporting it, where they don't release any more updates, then you're going to want to start making a move away from that. We're going to take our commercial customers and start, upgrading them to Windows 10 as we come across them. And I know what you're saying. Microsoft is famous for getting to a deadline and then extending it, and it's truly possible. I keep looking at that date, and it keeps staying the same. So I have to start at some point, start preparing for most of you to go to Windows 10. Now, we have a guy on staff that we are taking him through the absolute process of doing backups, an image, and then doing an upgrade, and then having everyone, make sure that Windows 10 is as close to Windows 7 as possible. Like, we are even using customizations in the user interface to bring the start button how you're used to seeing it, the program list how you're used to seeing it, the desktop, and pretty much as good as we can get it, we're gonna get it. So if any of you notice that you're still on Windows 7, we've got a nice graceful move over the next 6 months to be able to get there. Feel free to call my office. Tell them that you're interested in getting Windows 7 upgraded to Windows 10. We're going to be fully stocked on Windows 10 licenses. And I'll tell you, everybody's going to have to do this by the end of the year. So it's going to be easier to get us to do this early rather than waiting till late, because I'm just telling you that people to have a tendency, especially with Microsoft, to wait to see if they're going to extend it. And if they don't, you're not going to want to operate a machine that's out of support. It's a liability, especially if it's in your business or something like that. You want to pay close extra attention to that you don't expose yourself to liabilities that you don't have to. Okay, so this message I was talking about, that Neuralink, this guy says the dust up over invasive medical devices that can be hacked, insulin pumps, pacemakers, has been significant. Can you imagine the consequences of brain implants being hacked? And no matter how good the technology, if it interfaces out, it can be interfaced in and hacked. it's going to be a decade before this is remotely viable, except in cases of neurological disorders, seizures, Parkinson's, etc. And that's why I said that these are going to be sort of a million slices as we get close to that. As soon as it's a proven thing where we can take electrical signals and translate them outward and translate them inward, then we're going to be able to start doing stuff. And what we're doing on the medical side is we're hacking the brain, and really that's what we're doing. We're figuring out a way that we can't interface it. We can do it with drugs, and we can do it with rehab, and we can do it with external stuff. But as soon as we have direct connection into the neurological processes, that we could start hacking the brain and doing stuff with it, it's going to be reserved for people who are in bad shape and will be the guinea pig for the technology. And what this person is saying, though, is once we get beyond that if we have the ability for outside, not everybody, like medical professionals, are going to be the only ones that are going to be able to interface this. You put a chip in your head, that is your communications port on the outside world, and then we're in the Matrix world where there are going to be people that create devices that fit your little comm device, and now you can hack your own, and then we go down that path. I mean, while it's science fiction, it's so interesting to have the ability to interface your brain. But the brain is so misunderstood. There's so few people that have a good grasp on what's going on in there in the first place. You think the commercialization and the implications, the scary stuff, then what's possible. I mean, how many years of horror stories are we going to have to go through before we can really see like what's the return, what's the benefit of being able to interface the world? Like when you have psychological disorders, can you send new programming in to replace programming that's damaged? With Alzheimer's, can we take people who have no memories whatsoever, or scrambled memories, or can't remember how to dress themselves or feed themselves? Can we program new stuff in the brain? I mean, how interactive are we talking about? What level are we going to be able to do this? Or it could be that this is like an AI thing where we can get input from what's going through the brain, and then we can better use our medical technologies and pharmaceuticals now because we know more about what's going on. Our doctors and medical people are really good at taking, at a huge disadvantage, trying to figure out what's going on in the human body. They have lots of chemical tests, but really the guessing game and the process of elimination is a practice in its own. It's a symphony in its own. And think if those doctors can just go right to what the brain is getting relayed, the information that it's actually getting. Because now first you have connecting into the brain, and then it's interpreting the neurological signals so that what you're hearing, the impulses from the brain, you translate to actual data. So it's pretty exciting. So Ben, thanks for the comment on Facebook about Neuralink. So if you have any questions or comments about that, feel free, 330-729-9977. Or you can text me at 330-333-1570. A little bit about Youngstown Computer, and we are going to begin, for the first time in 3 years, begin marketing our services on the commercial end once again. So a very exciting thing to me because I am a marketing guy. I love marketing. I love promotions. I run a weird set of marketing where I just go out and tell you the truth, and I care about you, and I want to help you with things, and then you trust me enough to be able to let me guide you through technological stuff. So to me, it's not really selling because all I'm doing is I'm doing more teaching than I am selling. But we've been very successful over the last decade at this, and we've got lots of customers and been able to serve a lot of you out there. We kind of toned the faucet. We turned the faucet so that it's barely a drip because we just couldn't handle what we are. It wasn't fair to the customers who, depended on us to bring in even more customers when we were trying to keep up with the workload that we already had. But for the first time, we got 2 great staff right in a row that are production people, level 2 service guys. And so that I'm going to start, I got a good feel for what they're going to be good at, and I'm going to go to the marketplace and start delivering them, work right in their wheelhouse. And you guys are all going to benefit from these extra people that we have on staff, faster service, and more expertise. I'm just in love with this next phase. So, and thankful that all of the customers were patient with us as we saw through our staffing trouble But trouble no more. We have sufficient people to help us out. Anyway, 330-729-9977. Text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
Hey, gang, we do the show live every day, 8 to noon, but if you can't catch it, we're on the podcast. Just search Dan Rivers, 570 WKBN.
From Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Hi, Joe Flynn here, and I'm hitting the road with Flinny for some summer fun.
Before I hit the road to anywhere, I'm taking my car to Flynn's first.
That's a great idea, Flinny. Before you hit the road, get a free tire check at any Flynn's Tire and Auto Service location.
And what about mechanical repairs and service?
Get a free safety check on your vehicle with any purchase, and go to flynnstire.com for service coupons.
I think all our friends would like to know about that.
Go ahead and tell them, Flinny.
Be sure to get your tires and auto service at Flynn's, where the advertised tire price is the entire price. And tell them Flinny sent you.
When you choose Pella, you know you're getting superior products. I'm Denise DeFala. Pella has the right styles to fit your home and your budget. They offer the #1 rated wood windows and patio doors, plus durable vinyl windows and low-maintenance fiberglass windows. And right now, take advantage of 48 months no-interest financing, or take $125 off select windows. Save 25% on entry doors and patio doors. Call 877-98-PELLA or visit PellaYoungstown.com.
Hey, friends, got a real estate question? Tune in Sunday mornings at 8 and listen to Kelly and Jim Warren for the right answers about real estate. Yes, she's the only agent who guarantees to sell your house or she'll buy it. Sunday mornings at 8, 570 WKBN.
Summer is here, and Matt's got the barbecue out all ready to grill. That's why he trusts Super Poly Grip, so he can enjoy his steak with full confidence.
Poly Grip.
Sounds like there's a party going on. But something's missing. The birthday gal's arrived. And thanks to Polydent, her bright smile is anything but a surprise.
Polydent.
Hi, this is Eric Clark with Fairway Ford in Canfield. Fairway has a great selection of Ford SUVs all on sale. Like over 100 brand new Ford Escapes available starting under $20,000. Or lease your new 19 Ford Escape SE for under $300 a month. That's right, under $300 a month for a 36-month lease with absolutely zero out of pocket. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
I'm Dana Schwartz, and I'm the host of Noble Blood, a new history podcast from iHeartRadio and Aaron Mahnke that focuses on the stories of some of history's most fascinating royals, from the infamous to the almost forgotten. The world is full of ill-fated love affairs, bad decisions, and family drama. And when you're wearing a crown, mistakes tend to be deadly.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, and it's easy to see why. Find Noble Blood on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. Questions, comments, 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. Joe, when are you going to do a show on the dark web? If you have already done a show, can you tell me where it is, and I'll go back and listen. Thanks for an informative show. Keep up the great work. Okay, so my answer is I've talked about the dark web a couple times, and sort of here's what I go back and forth with dark web stuff. It's a dangerous place, or could be a dangerous place. So basically, dark web is a whole infrastructure of web that is not accessible with a traditional browser on the traditional internet. So it's sort of like a web that is underneath the real web. So it's still a carrier. You still need to be on the internet, but you have to do special stuff in order to be able to get to it. So the first thing you need for dark web is a browser, a Tor browser, and you can go to the internet, look for Tor browser. It looks like, I think, an onion petal is the logo for Tor, and it's a browser just like Internet Explorer or Firefox or Safari or Google Chrome. But this is a browser that is 100% just for browsing dark web addresses. Now, in order to get to places on the dark web, I'm telling you that they don't work sort of like web addresses. So the web is governed this way, where you have internet registrars who pay attention and keep track of internet addresses and domain names. So you'd go to yahoo.com and that translates down to a certain IP address, and then you see web, the web information for that. The dark web works a little bit more anonymously, where you have addresses, but they change frequently, and they're hard to find where something is being hosted or being done. So then you have to use a service like Reddit to find somebody who publishes their addresses. Okay, so you basically have your Tor browser, and you go over to Reddit, and you go find what you want on the dark web, and find the address. You copy the address, and you put it in your Tor browser, and now you're actually browsing a page that is being hosted and managed on that sub internet. Now, I want to tell you, the reason I don't typically give you too much information to do this is because there's some really dangerous things and people. This is a very serious thing. I mean, we've done shows where we're just going to see how deep this thing goes and what we have access to. I mean, there's drugs available, there's weapons available. I mean, it gets really, really serious really quick when you know the level of people you're dealing with. But there's a lot of criminal activity that goes on there. I mean, people are attracted to it because it's anonymous. You could be living next to the guy who's hosting one of these dark websites, selling things that are completely illegal, right? And the only way that they're able to get by is because nobody can track the stuff. And it's I can go there and see that you're selling it, but who you are and that's masked, and where you're located, well, that's masked. And when I send you money, that's through Bitcoin, so that could be masked. So the whole transaction is 100% masked. And then they use traditional things like UPS and the Postal Service and FedEx to be able to take this contraband, and they have ways of packaging it up and sending it around without getting caught. And so just be very careful if you do something like that. So your Tor browser is the way to get there, and then you have to find the most recent Tor address for these dark web pages. So hope that helps you out. Hope that answers your question. We're taking another break. We'll come back, take some more of your phone calls, 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. The temperature outside is rising, but our prices are dropping. It's our sizzling summer sales event. Now is your chance to save thousands on a huge selection of brand new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, like the brand new 2019 Chevy Silverado LT Double Cab for only $248 per month. Got credit problems? Get approved faster and easier than ever before with the all-new Team Taylor Credit Amnesty Program. Calling all trades. Only Taylor Chevrolet gives you $4,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair Trade. It's time for Taylor Chevrolet of Hermitage. Drive TaylorChevrolet.com. Find new roads. To qualified buyers, 39 month lease, $14.49 due at signing plus tax, title, license, $10K per year. Must qualify competitive lease. Stock number C196089. See dealer for details.
This is including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos with our iHeartRadio app. 570 WKBN, Youngstown. It's 2 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Barry has made landfall and is now a tropical storm. Moving extremely slowly across the coast of Louisiana, the storm surge pushing water over the top of a levee in Lower Plaquemines Parish. The lieutenant governor also saying that water is flowing over the levees in Jefferson Lake and Point Celeste. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell warning residents who may still be dry.
And although you may not have seen rainfall as we've been discussing, it is coming our way.
I'm Rob Marciano in New Orleans, where the winds have been steadily picking up. The heaviest rain has yet to arrive as Barry makes its landfall across the South Louisiana coast. A very bottom-heavy system, which means that the heaviest weather, be it rain and wind, will come after the storm passes to the north. With it moving so slowly, that rain's going to stick around a long time. So New Orleans, Baton Rouge, very susceptible to flooding. Could see over a foot of rain in these areas, 2 feet possible in some spots. And flood watches have been posted all the way north of Memphis and east towards the Florida Panhandle. From New Orleans, I'm Rob Marciano.
R&B star R. Kelly is behind bars this weekend after he was taken into custody in Chicago facing federal charges that include sexual exploitation of children and child pornography.
One thing federal prosecutors have said is that R. Kelly had illegal sexual activity with 5 minor girls, recorded it on video, and at least in one case tried to pay off the family of one of the minor girls not to say anything. This is just some of what R. Kelly is now facing as he is locked up in a federal jail in Chicago. He'll return to court on Tuesday for a bail hearing, and defense attorneys say he intends to fight the charges.
ABC's Aaron Katursky. Federal prosecutors fighting against wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein being let out of jail. They claim he's been paying off potential witnesses. If convicted, he could face 45 years in prison. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening. A mother and a daughter were found dead after a house fire in the 2900 block of Old Plank Road in Neshannock Township Thursday morning. Police are calling the deaths murder-suicide. Police Chief John Rand says both victims died of a single gunshot wound to the head before the fire. The cause of the fire has not been determined. A bomb threat shut down multiple government buildings in downtown Youngstown yesterday. This happened after 911 dispatchers in Austintown got 2 calls saying there were 4 explosives at the Common Pleas Courthouse. Repeated searches of the buildings didn't find anything. Court appearances scheduled yesterday will be rescheduled. Youngstown Councilman Julius Oliver toured the chill can plants, and he's optimistic about future production. Oliver was given a personal tour of the chill can plants by owner Mitchell Joseph. He said he's convinced there will be progress. Questions have been raised lately on when or if anything would ever be made there. A completion date is set for the new multimedia center at Stambaugh Stadium. The $3 million project is funded in part by a $1 million gift from the founder of Falcon Transport, Don Constantini. It will house a classroom for the YSU Department of Communications and host game day media activities for all Stambaugh Stadium events. The completion date is September 6th. A house fire in Lawrence County last night has left a family living there looking for another place to stay. It happened on Deer Creek Road in Pulaski Township shortly before 6 p.m. Several departments responded to the fire. Nobody was hurt. Youngstown police are investigating an exchange of gunfire that left a man hurt. It happened early Wednesday morning, according to a police report. Police say a 38-year-old man showed up at the hospital with a gunshot wound after police went to the 1500 block of Dogwood Lane on a report of a shooting. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Cool your home for summer. Call Maz's Air Conditioning in Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Sunshine for your Saturday. Highs will be in the upper 80s, mostly sunny skies with an isolated storm chance later tonight. Temperatures will fall to the mid-60s. In Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
There's no house like our house on a summer night.
The Indians looking for a little walk-off magic.
Here, the rules are a little different. You can stay up past your bedtime and be as loud as you want.
No doubt about it! Bomb to right!
Because in this house, the game is always on.
And a mob scene at home plate!
Our house is at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario.
It's Value Sunday on July 14th with select concessions for just $2. Get your tickets on Indians.com.
These are the sounds of children playing and families laughing. But these sounds were cut short. Cut short because Ohio doesn't require gates and lights at every railroad crossing. Crossbucks and stop signs? Really? Crossbucks and stop signs just aren't enough. But you can help. Report unsafe railroad crossings at angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB in this station.
Folks who suffer from arthritis, back pain, knee pain, bursitis, or fibromyalgia, learn about targeted pain relief in just 15 minutes. Listen to Discoveries in Health this Sunday morning at 8:30, right here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show where I talk about things that are in tech. I give you guys the platform. We can talk about things very publicly. All of us get to learn from it with the help of other people, so you don't necessarily have to experience everything. You get to experience everything through other people's experiences. And what's helpful about that is you don't have to wait to be, for an attempted scammer to come through your door to learn from something. You could have heard about it from somebody out there. So if you're out there and you have something that you'd like to share, an experience you'd like to share that you think might be helpful to other people listening, because you got to think this audience is made up of people that are just getting started and they're just trying to get close enough to the language that we speak and the equipment that we talk about, and they're trying to get familiarity where we have that familiarity. The people who've been in it a while, they're just getting warmed up to it. And we make this non-intimidating. We make it a topic that, all of us can understand. I don't use a bunch of words bigger than they have to be. I don't use abbreviations. I try to make it simple because people in this field, what's irritating about it is sort of like there's this dependence. These smart people are trying to create a dependence where you can't know it and you can't join the club. I need you to understand it, and I need you to know it because we got to be smart, right? I'm in love with intelligence. I'm in love with genius people, and I think these computers and the tools that we have at our disposal that draw the genius out of us, and the people can really express themselves, and we can solve big problems as long as our people are competent. If you're dependent on people who are providing you the service, all you're going to be is a customer, right? And I don't want customers. I want people who are not afraid to dabble into this stuff and to learn more. And I want to be an instructor, someone who I'll help clear the pathway a way for you to make it as easy as possible, so that when you trust in someone like me, I feel this obligation to the community that I've got this megaphone that I've been blessed with, that I can create people who are interested more in technology. You know how many people that when I first started said, I don't want anything to do with this computer because it's intimidating. There's nobody to help me. If I want to learn anything, I'm either relegated to the library or looking up on myself or bothering my grandson to be able to do it. I'm just not interested. But then we have this speaker that you can listen to and hear 570, and you hear these great service professionals all Saturday filling your head with stuff that you might not have known how to do when you first turn on the radio. So the brilliance of the service shows on Saturday is that, I am mechanically disinclined as you can get, right? And I installed my own mailbox. How did I do that? Well, it was because I said, you know what, I want to learn this stuff, and I know I'm not good at this stuff, but there's a passive way to get a better understanding it. So I listen to people who are mechanically inclined, and I attach their attitudes to it. I mean, what do? Well, they're patient, and they admit really easily the stuff they do know and don't know. And I found myself trusting the professionals that are on this channel because of how easily they shared with everyone. And it was just a great way to learn because these people were looking out for you. And sure, they're represented in the marketplace where you can reward them for giving away the information by supporting their businesses. And that's amazing. But think of all of the people who became computer users just because they had this outlet to be able to say, okay, well, I know I'm computer. You know how many times a week I hear, hey, Joe, I'm computer stupid, but, right? People say that all the time. And they latch on to someone like me because I'll slow, even though I talk super fast, I'll slow down just enough and be patient enough, and I'll coach them through it. So whereas I do sell this stuff in the marketplace, I'm also interested in bringing some of you along with me so that every day, everybody gets a little bit smarter because of this show. So thanks, everyone, for being out there. I appreciate it. Hello, this message is for Joe at Youngstown Computer. This just came across my Facebook feed. Here it is. The future has us feeding the grid. So a couple months ago, I did a show on having roads that were moving, and then what are those things called? The treadmills. That as you use your kinetic energy, you had either suits or apparatus that would allow you to harness electrical activity. Well, this was in Runner's World. They're starting to make treadmills that give you the ability to produce electricity. So when I'm sitting back at the YMCA and I see all these, 50 or 60 people on treadmills, and I'm watching all of that momentum and that action, and that heat energy and that kinetic energy not being captured, not being put somewhere in a battery or running the fan or offsetting, the treadmill electronics or whatever. That's sort of like not a really good use. Like there's not, we're not trying to reclaim some of that expended energy that we're using just in normal everyday life. There's not an effort to do it, I should say. Well, this person sent me an article that there is going to be electronics manufacturers are going to have regenerative? Yeah, that word, whatever that is, regenerative, that word. anyway, trying to make more of an effort to recapture some of this. And it's not just electrical kinetic energy. I mean, you think about everything from, the waves of the ocean, the air that's through wind, and the solar. None of this stuff we really make a true, true effort to capture. I mean, we have these little token things where you spend $200,000 on a big windmill that takes 20 years to pay for itself. Nobody can get super excited over that. But what if we just had the effort to say, you know what, I'm going to build solar panels on, and not just big solar panels that do your whole house, but every device, your phone case, your mouse, anything that faces the sky, that you're going to build some kind of solar panel, just so we get used to every skyward facing surface having some kind of a photovoltaic something in there to capture some energy, even if it's just token, right? But these devices, it's not all that. It wouldn't add that much to the cost. And then once everything has some of this skyward facing solar panel, that we can find useful ways of taking small bits of energy and figuring out a way to get it into our system so that it's supplementary. You're not going to be able to run your car off of a solar panel that's on the roof, but think about how many hours a day your car is sitting in a parking lot facing the sun that you're not doing anything with. I mean, even if it was, the solar panels run a fan that exhausts different cooling, exhausts the hot air out of your car. I mean, it's energy that would have been expensed anyway. I mean, the sun was going to hit your car anyway, in the heat energy, and the photons could be captured. Anyway, thank you for that article. Appreciate that. I'm glad that everybody's kind of thinking about and it's fanciful. I love the sci-fi version of this because this stuff feels very Jetsony, but all of this stuff is already available. But it's just hard for us to kind of picture the usefulness of this when, electricity is literally 5 cents a kilowatt hour. We pay almost nothing for electricity. We waste so much of it because we can. I mean, think of how you even treat water when it's readily available versus when there's only like 1 liter somewhere, and how precious it becomes. Well, when it's so cheap and available, then we don't figure out very useful ways. But you get into 25 cents a kilowatt hour, or you get $1 a kilowatt hour, then we start considering pretty heavily about the inefficiencies of regular appliances. I mean, our computers used to, we used to put 500-watt power supplies in all the computers that were out there, and that was, we were using 300 of those 500. Every year, computers use less electricity, so they get faster and they consume less electricity. So in 10 years, our electronics, we might be using even less electricity. We might come into a window where solar is useful. But when your basic refrigerator, you can have a battery, a 12-volt battery, a big car battery. How long would a 12-volt battery run your freezer or your refrigerator right now? Not very long, right? But if in the future, if your refrigerator was a 90-watt refrigerator, now how long does that 12-volt battery run your refrigerator? Quite a bit longer. So I think, I don't think pricing is going to make the technology useful. I think it's this sci-fi stuff where it's going to be cool to watch people on their treadmills lighting a light bulb up is going to make it happen. It's going to be that weird factor, that innovation factor, not necessarily because it's practical, by any means. Another text message. Let me get to that real quick. I fell in love with the Dexcom system 3 years ago. Their Bluetooth system monitors blood sugar levels for diabetes and shares that data to our phones to alarm for high and low readings. Both my athletic and active boys have need of this. In just 3 short years, they have created algorithms that mimic the pancreas and Bluetooth to the pumps, which controls insulin. So now this device is keeping them healthier than ever before. It's still frightening to hand over the control to a system to keep them alive. This is still a critical decision-making platform, and I look forward to using it this year. It will give insulin for higher range numbers and stop it to a trending low. Scary, but awesome AI. And I couldn't agree more with you that, at the same time, this is amazing stuff. And, think about how quality of life could improve for a ton of people where, our systems now are all those analogs. I mean, they're good as they are, but they could be made so much better because when computer controls the accuracy and the routine, things that are hard for people to keep on are easy for computers. I noticed that, when we're using these devices telling us to remind us stuff and set timers and set my alarm, think about how many things I put on autopilot that otherwise I would have to be forgetting, and set a timer for 5 minutes and then right away set another timer for 8 minutes and then right away set another 20 minutes. Now I'm confused as a human being, but our devices can keep track of that no problem with almost 100% accuracy. And but like you, as we give them more and more important roles, when they screw up, it costs lives, right? And there isn't anything like, empathy that you can program. It's literally an algorithm of formulas on top of formulas. And that's what scares us most, that, we lose, that the complexity is going to escape normal people's brains. You are not going to be able to understand how something comes to a conclusion in a sense for, the machine learning is going to be different than human learning. So who do you trust out there to be smarter than the machines, or at least have a handle on it? And I think that guy's job, or that group's job, or that government's job is going to be super critical. And it would be really helpful to invent those people now and tell them what we really want out of this. Do we want machines to solve social problems? Do we want machines to be servants to human beings to make quality of life better? Do we want machines to be our brains for us because we're not doing a good job? All of these different angles have different downsides to it. How stupid do we get? How dependent do we get? I mean, look at GPS. When's the last time you took out a map? Could you use left, right, the turn left at the water tower? Could you even follow analog directions and tell another human being? Could you remember a phone number? I know 3 phone numbers probably. Everything else I get from my contacts list. There's no yellow pages anymore. There's no mapping anymore. We've lost and will continue to lose some of the things that the tools that assisted us with solving problems because we just offloaded them to technology. Your math teacher said that you wouldn't always have a calculator in your hand, so you've got to know how to do this manually. Well, I calculate figures, twice a day. And I don't do them longhand. I do them all on a calculator. So eventually there will be a point where all of the things we learn how to do manually will be done by machines. Do I fear that my calculator is going to give me a wrong answer? And because I'm not able to figure it out manually, that I won't ever have to, prove it wrong and show that it ruined my life because it told me it calculated a mathematics problem wrong? No, I think we're pretty confident that when it gets solved to a point where we have faith in it, that it doesn't make mistakes like we do. I think human beings are way more fallible, but it allows us to go at the speed of electricity. And that's the scariest part with this, is that we are there's some filters that happen that keep us safe only because we can make mistakes, but we're slow at making those mistakes so we can bounce back from them. What happens when a computer is able to make a series of 1 million mistakes deep, generational mistakes, right, that are undoable? By the time it realizes it made a mistake, how many people have died or there'll be consequences, and a computer's just not going to know that. Human beings, we kind of know when that risk meter starts going off and where we need to, stop and recalculate. Computers run the script. If the script is not great, it just keeps running the script. So all of these great intentioned pieces of software that were meant to aid a human being or meant to make a human being, that logic starts getting skewed, and it comes to the conclusion. Every sci-fi movie where robots murder human beings because they're not useful or they're criminal or they're sick. I mean, how many 80-year-olds would you want a robotic nurse to say, you know what, we've calculated it, and your cost of keeping you alive exceeds the production value that you can create over the rest of your lifetime. So we, the nurse robots, decided that we're going to cut this short and see you off to your maker. It's a scary thought because, again, could it happen? It's happened in every sci-fi scare movie that you've ever had about robotics. So it's still an interesting concept. But I'm telling you that when the people who are advancing this stuff are calling our attention that it's a scary thing, point to somebody who's working on that. Point to somebody who's putting the principles and regulations. We're hoping that there's somebody out there doing it, but I'm not reading. I just hear that people are scared of it. And I hear people underscoring and saying, yeah, you should be afraid of it. But I don't see anybody actually tackling this and putting an effort into keeping it contained or controlled. And I love innovation, so I'm not going to even say contain it to the point of not doing it. I'm going to say that let's let brilliant people be brilliant and smart people be in these powers of position. So, all right, going to take a break. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. You can text me all program long at 330-333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
The world is watching. Our message, our focus, the issues that matter.
2020, climate change.
Information.
Every day.
On 570 WKBN.
It's where Lady Gaga brought Sting up on stage in 2011. Where Prince performed with Mary J. Blige in 2012.
Pleasure's all mine.
This year, we'll have another reunion on our stage.
Something special for you right now.
Hootie and the Blowfish will be joining us at our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Our festival is also known for having the best EDM artists on our stage. This year, Marshmello will close our 2 epic nights. Get tickets now to witness music history. iHeartRadio.com/tickets.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Greg. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Greg. That's 4hims.com/Greg.
Is your child's foot comfort important to you? If it is, you need to get your kid some Skechers. You see, at Skechers, we're the comfort and fit specialists, and we've taken all this comfort and fit knowledge and applied it to the cutest, most comfortable boys and girls shoes on the planet. They're soft and flexible while still being durable. They're also super fashionable, have comfort innovations like Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam, and most importantly, they're affordable. Get your kids some Skechers at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia of Hermitage, now open. And Taylor Kia of Boardman. Get the ultimate Kia shopping experience and hassle-free credit approval from the Taylor Credit Team during our hot summer savings event. Test drive the 2019 Kia Optima or Sportage today. Both top safety picks. Calling all trades. Don't make a $6,000 mistake. Taylor gives you up to $6,000 over Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade. Taylor Kia of Boardman.com and the all-new Taylor Kia Hermitage.com. It's time for Taylor. Taylor Kia.
Well-qualified buyers with approved credit on select inventory. Down pay and term vary. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 7/31/19.
Quiet, convenient, affordable. Westchester Square Apartments offer rental properties to fit every need and budget. Perfectly situated in Austintown right next to Route 11. With luxury living close by at Westchester Executive Apartments. Even Westchester Commons, the perfect independent senior living facility. Be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square, Westchester Executive Apartments, and Westchester Commons. Find out more now at waldenmanagement.com.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. A little plug about Youngstown Computer, since we are getting back in the marketing for ourselves groove again. We will be onboarding new customers. We will be setting new point of contacts up. So a lot of exciting things coming up over the next month. But let me give you the sort of the why behind what it is that we do. So most companies will either have an inside IT staff or an outside IT staff. And it's preferred, you get the most value out of having your own internal. You got a guy that you know that works there 8 to 5 and manages your systems and is familiar with your systems. So that's usually preferred. I don't really have the payroll caps to be able to have an internal. So they outsource to a company like Youngstown Computer. We're one of a couple here in the Youngstown area, but we all primarily provide the same service. We try to become your internal staff, where we try to manage you and your systems and make you standardized so that you can get the benefits of having internal, where someone's paying attention to your backups and someone's paying attention to your updates, and you can be called if you were to have a problem. So our deal is, since it's when you have outside, you have to wait for someone to be able to come to you when you're having a problem. When you have internal, like the guy's down the hallway from you, he can be there in like a half hour. So what we do is we sort of have like an elective and an emergency role that we play. And what we try to do is we try to make it so that we're almost as good as having an internal, but we try to get there as quickly as possible. We give all our customers the ability to put the bat signal up on the clouds and tell us that I have an emergency that needs a regular response. We've got enough staff that usually someone could break away when with a half hour be there to be able to field out the emergency. So it's almost as good as the 10 minutes that the guy on staff would take to be able to get around to you. So that's what we emulate there, is trying to be as good as your internal, but having way less cost, because there's some networks that only use us once a month. And when they need us, they use us. Most people are in a habit with us, so that maybe once a month we show up and we do all of your maintenance, and then you call us when you need us if there's an emergency. The proactive part helps to avoid the emergencies. We don't like having them. We're always at our best when we're on the proactive side. But you spread your budget out a little bit, and it's way more cost effective, and you can do things a little bit safer. So that's really what we offer. Field services, where we do everything from managing a network that's already there, regardless if we set it up, or engineering and setting up brand new networks, server-based or work group. We know all of how to do it, so we don't have like one solution that we try to roll out to every person. We know pretty much every solution, and then we line it up to your interests. If you say that this is your priority, then we have the tools in our arsenal to be able to field what you're asking us to do, and everything in between. And what's nice about it is you sort of get my attitude, where I'm a teacher, and I'm going to be forthright with you and just be as honest as I can be with you, and still at the same time try to steer you and coach you into making the best decisions that we possibly can. But you're in the driver's seat. You let us know what you want to do. And even if all of you that are listening that have jobs and go to work, I really appreciate it if you'd recommend Youngstown Computer to your employer when those needs are right. I mean, I'm not one of those people that are going to say drop your current staff. If they're doing a good job, whatever works, keep it working. I mean, don't upset the apple cart for no reason. But if you get to the point where you need staff, your IT company is moving on or dropping the ball, feel free to give us a call. We'll get in touch with you and take a look at your network and see if we're a good fit for you. 330-259-7278 is the Youngstown Computer office number. You can leave a message today, and then we'll field out those of you who'd like to do business with us. Again, that's 330-259-7278, and we'll give our new staff some brand new work to do. So I'd really appreciate it if you bring your work to us when you have it. So take a break, come back, take some more of your phone calls. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Flynn here, and I'm hitting the road with Flinny for some summer fun.
Before I hit the road to anywhere, I'm taking my car to Flynn's first.
That's a great idea, Flinny. Before you hit the road, get a free tire check at any Flynn's Tire and Auto Service location.
And what about mechanical repairs and service?
Get a free safety check on your vehicle with any purchase, and go to flynnstire.com for service coupons.
I think all our friends would like to know about that.
Go ahead and tell them, Flinny.
Be sure to get your tires and auto service at Flynn's, where the advertised tire price is the entire price. And tell them Flinny sent you. ya.
Here's what's happening. Police are calling the deaths a murder-suicide after 2 people were found dead after a house fire in the 2900 block of Old Plank Road in Neshannock Township. A bomb threat shut down multiple government buildings in downtown yesterday. It happened after 911 dispatchers in Austintown received 2 calls saying there were explosives at the Common Pleas Courthouse. Youngstown Councilman Julius Oliver toured the Chilcan plants. He's optimistic about the future. Questions have been raised lately on when or if anything would ever be made there. A completion date is set for the new multimedia center at Stambaugh Stadium. The completion date is September 6th. A house fire in Lawrence County left the family living there looking for another place to stay. It happened on Deer Creek Road in Pulaski Township. Youngstown police are investigating gunfire that left 1 man hurt in the 1500 block of Dogwood Lane. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. From the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. Need an AC checkup? Call Maz's Air Conditioning at Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Sunshine for your Saturday. Highs will be in the upper 80s. Mostly sunny skies with an isolated storm chance later tonight. Temperatures will fall to the mid-60s. In Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
You know, I feel like I have known this company for many years, but it's only been about a month. Window Nation asked me, would you speak for our company in Youngstown? And I went out, talked to him, interviewed the CEO, and I said, yes, I would love to. You buy 1, you get 1. You buy 2, you get 2, and so on. Now, you like free, don't you? How about 0, 0, 0? Make that 0 down payment, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Pretty easy to understand, right? Now, these windows come in vinyl, wood, any style, any color, engineered for the place that we live right here in Youngstown. Made in Ohio, by Ohioans. They will come to your home, give you an exact price, not an estimate, a 30-day price protection guarantee. Window Nation, great company, 866-90-NATION. Dan Rivers recommended Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, and if you'd be so kind to mention Dan Rivers, windownation.com.
Update your home with Ultra Deck from Menards and save with 11% off. Spend more time relaxing with Ultra Deck low-maintenance composite decking. Ultra Deck Rustic is available in 4 colors and gives the look of real wood without the upkeep. Right now, get 11% off all Ultra Deck low-maintenance composite decking. Save with 11% off everything at Menards. Good through July 13th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Bob Davis with Fairway Ford in Canfield. Fairway has a great selection of Ford SUVs on sale, like over 100 brand new Ford Escapes available starting under $20,000. Or lease your new 2019 Ford Escape SE for under $300 a month. That's right, under $300 a month for a 36-month lease with absolutely 0 out of pocket. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. If you have any questions for our program today, be sure to get on the line, 330-729-9977. You got me here for another half hour or so. Question, is Windows 10 still a free upgrade to 7? And if it is, which website? Okay, so here's the thing about Windows 10 upgrades. Now, there was a window that you could have taken your computer and you could have applied an upgrade license to your computer, and then you didn't have to do the upgrade, but at least you were connected and you could do that upgrade. And that was a little window that they had, and you probably saw the Windows 10 logo at the bottom right, and for a little while, and then that kind of disappeared and whatnot. So there's a few of you that may have already been registered for an upgrade, and it might be just a matter of running the software to be able to download that for free. If you search for Windows 10 upgrade and follow the Microsoft paths, there's actually a tool that you could run that will check to see if you qualify for the free upgrade. So all of you that are doing that, I would recommend that you do a backup first. Any upgrades now of the 10 or 15 or whatever that we've done recently, all of them went well, and not a single one of them went down. Like, it's not like the old upgrades where it trashes everything and you got a 50-50 shot that it's going to not blue screen halfway through. These are pretty good about doing upgrades, pretty accurately. I'm telling you to do a backup because if there was a reason why you delayed it, that maybe there was some hardware that wouldn't work after, there's some software that was going to have some complications, you still might experience that. It's gotten better. I don't see it all that often, but it could. And so, but if you snapshot your computer before you do the upgrade, that way if you find that you lost functionality in some of your stuff, you can always go back to your disk image, the pre-upgrade version easily. They force you to do a backup, I believe, already by snapshotting it, but I would do your own. Now, so if you follow the Windows 10 upgrade path, there's a couple of tools, and I think it's called like a GSW or something like that, that give you the ability to run on your computer. It downloads the media. It sees if it applies to you. Let me see if that's called. I don't even know what it stands for. I knew it one time, and I don't remember what it stands for, but it's I believe it's 3 initials, GSW. Let me make sure that I'm not speaking out of turn here. Anyway, GWX. So GWX is the program tool that they were using for a period of time to apply that free upgrade. So if you run that on there, we'll see if you can already apply it. Now there's also, if you have, I believe for a period of time, if you had any kind of speech or hearing problems where you had an accessibility, if you have had the accessibility, they were giving people with accessibility options the ability to upgrade to Windows 10 for free too. So that would be one path. So if you have the GWX tool, run that and see if it applies. If you have accessibility options, you might want to have that one apply. Or if you just want to follow the Windows 10 upgrade, download that upgrade tool and see if that applies. You might be able to do this upgrade for the rest of the year and not have to pay for anything, and that is preferred. We don't want to have $150 Windows 10 Pro licenses have to be purchased on a computer, especially, the tough deal is it's probably a computer that's more than a couple years old. So spending $150, you're going to get Windows when you buy a new machine. So it's hard to justify the license expense when the next computer is going to come with it anyway. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Scott. Scott, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, Joe, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
This isn't computer-related, but it's tech-related. I just want to get your opinion on some things.
Sure, go ahead.
I just spent a little 6-week road trip down to California and back, and I was really interested. They have the scooters there where you can go by app and see where the scooters are and use them per mile around the city and everything. And so I don't know if it necessarily work for Youngstown, but it is a college town. I was wondering just your idea in general on location-based technology for business. I thought it was a pretty interesting app and a pretty fun thing to do. I was wondering what your thoughts are on where location-based technology is right now for businesses.
All right, Scott, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I was going to bring this topic up on the program today. There's a program called Turo, and I started reading an article about a guy that bought a couple of electric vehicles. He bought 2 of them. He wanted one that he was going to drive, and he got one that he was going to allow other people to drive. And so he subscribed the one that he wanted other people to drive to a program called Turo. And then just like when you rent a car from, Alamo or Budget or anything like that, people could use his electric vehicle. And his goal was to see if he could pay for both of his electric vehicles by just the income that he was making on the one of them. So I looked at it, and really it depends on how popular the vehicle is. So a luxury vehicle is going to fetch a higher demand, and a sports car is going to fetch a higher demand. A good traveling car is going to fetch a higher demand, as well as the population. You go to a tourist area, and it's going to do a lot better than it would be in maybe a place like Youngstown. If you go to Turo right now and you put in a Youngstown, zip code, you're going to find like there's 3 vehicles available in the entire Youngstown area. One is a Range Rover for $250 a day, and one is a van that's like $55 a day. And so you can see if you have a spare vehicle, it would be a really cool way to make some, let somebody use it. But my concern is that, when people do rental cars, they beat the crap out of these cars. So the car that you offer up there, the guy that just bought a brand new electric vehicle, he was really putting that out to the world really run through the ringer. So to go back to your question of the caller just now, whether or not these apps where you have the location services. So what he's talking about is that if you did one of these cars, you wouldn't have to have a transaction with another human being. You would rent the scooter or the bus or the vehicle, and then after you rent it, it would line you up with one that's parked somewhere, and you'd walk up to it. It would unlock the vehicle or give you access to the scooter, and you get on it, use it, and then you just drop it off wherever and make it available for the next person. And that, when we started talking about the Internet of Things, where you have things that can talk to a network and be connected and be controlled by other things, that's really the ultimate benefit of most of this stuff, is that you can put your spare resources, the things that are sitting idle, and you can let people use them. And so the Toros of the world, they don't really have anything. They don't have to stock inventory. They don't have to have gobs of people. Their software controls an outcome, and they end up being like an insurance provider, where they're just making sure that they're protecting the consumer from the service provider and protecting the service provider from the consumer. You can see how their duties are to make sure that if somebody's property gets killed, that they've got insurance coverage on these people's property, and everybody who provides the service are just like 1099 contractors. And so it's kind of a brilliant thing where you take things that are going underutilized and you allow the network and the greater world to be able to make use of those. And I even saw it a while ago. There's a mechanic shop right now that has a lift, and most of the time that lift is not lifting a car. Right? So if that guy could decide to let someone else use his lift, he subscribes to it, he uses the lift, he doesn't have to buy a whole mechanic shop and have all the tools. He can use an idle resource that somebody else owns. That person could extend it to the network. That guy could use it when he needs it. Think of how many more people can participate in the marketplace if everybody didn't have to always buy redundant and duplicate resources. So I'm a big fan of this, and as long as markets can support it, I like that it enables the consumer, because that's a stream of income of people that think about, like some of us out there that have a harder time accessing marketplaces that can participate without moving their families or whatnot. So it's like not a work from home type of opportunity, but a more passive version where I could work a regular job and just have like 100 other supplemental things and work as hard as I want to work without having to get 72 different jobs. So I think the landscape of the marketplace is going to change over time as well. So thanks for that phone call. I hope that wasn't too much information. Didn't go too far on that. Lots of text messages, so let me get to those real quick. Dark web. About 15 years ago, my first treadmill was a Nordic track with the ski handles. Man, that sucker gave you a workout. I don't think people today will go through that compared to what's at the gym. I'll tell you, all of the apparatus at the gym are, extremely, tech end. So you can get on a treadmill and put in, a place, and it will use the angle of the treadmill and the speed of the treadmill to make it seem like you just ran a famous track in somewhere. And so, yeah, they're very, computer-ended anymore. There's a lot of sophistication to that. I also saw those bikes. Those bikes are amazing. I'm a big advocate of riding bikes. I like to be out in nature when I'm riding, like trail riding, like being able to look around at stuff. But some of the bike computers, where if you're looking at a little tablet screen in front of the bike, it can do the same thing, control the track or the set that you're doing, and control the speed and the resistance and whatnot. And you can basically run a race from your living room, kind of a thing. Again, that's not for me, but I mean, if we get into virtual reality and some of these augmented reality things, you could see that could be pretty interesting to experience a track in a different country and be able to keep switching tracks. Okay, that's my Windows 10 question. That's my Windows 10 question again. Machines will improve, but acquiring the equivalent of human intuition by using calculable probabilities. And when such occurs, decision-making will be too exponentially rapid for true human intervention. But being caught up in fully immersive virtual social media such won't pop up on our internal news feed, Just my gloomy and yet slightly humorous views of the future. Good show, Joe. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I agree with you. And see, that's the thing. For a guy like me, again, I really love being in touch with the genius and the inventors and the people who are thinking really deeply. And you go through your time, your feed on social media, and you get to see that people had chicken nuggets for dinner. It feels like there's nobody working on this big stuff. But maybe I'm just disconnected like you are, where I'm really hopeful that this stuff is going on and it's just happening in very closed, quiet places, when in the real world I see things like decaying and getting close to sliding off a cliff with how disconnected people are. I was disappointed with myself with how addicted I was to the devices. So I know that everybody else is as close to that edge as I was or found myself to be on this last trip. So a little disappointing with our society as a whole. Who would program a nurse robot to calculate the worth of a person before treating them? It makes more sense just to have them follow the Hippocratic Oath no matter what. And if it's that logic, if we could put that, empathy, and we could put, the Hippocratic Oath and the rules governing those people. But if you ask a nurse and said, if you were given a checklist, and that's what programming would be for a robot. If I were giving a checklist, how many times do I have to go off script to make it go well because of just I got a sense for it was going to go off track if I continue down this path? Well, I bet you nurses really do MacGyvering and really do some audibles quite often in the pursuit of their job because they care about the person that's in front of them. But with machines, I don't know that I would trust, software logic at this point. I mean, I'm driving in a Tesla that has all of the software controls for changing lanes. And I'll tell you, the software logic is really dumb sometimes, makes really bad decisions where me looking down the road from my perspective, I knew that was going to happen, but why didn't that machine know that was going to happen? Or, when it decides that, I see cars up in front of me and it gets over in the right lane to get into a slower traffic, I know that it's going to have to get back out of the lane in 30 seconds, right? But the machine is following a set of task lists, and the task list said, when there is a break in traffic in the right lane, get in the right lane, regardless if you have to get right back out of that lane. I would, human logic would say that the risk of getting in a lane and merging into traffic is increased when you make a move. Staying where you are is safer. So if you're going to get back out of the lane 30 seconds from now, you don't get back in that lane. Anyway, that was just an illustration. Again, sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, so again, about the Youngstown computer stuff, I want to reiterate for those of you just joining the show now, we've made some big jumps in adding some level 2 field people. In the fall, we're going to be hiring a technical salesperson, and we're going to have one of our field staff now work the sales end. Sales for me isn't like your typical sales. The benefits are the same, where you can do commission, and there's a whole lot of motivation, financial motivation built in where sales across the board are like that. But with me, you don't necessarily have to make people buy something that they don't need. You just have to be really skilled at knowing what it is that we do, and then be able to present the tools that people need. People will come to you with the trust that that they're not going. They know you're not going to try to sell them on anything, but you just have to know the catalog of what it is that we do, and be able to help guide someone into a solution that works and is in their interest. And that's what we do. Like when people ask me, say, I want to be a computer manufacturer. I want to make computers here in Youngstown, Ohio. And since I made that statement November of last year, we've done hundreds of them. Like we are a manufacturer of computers in Youngstown, Ohio. And I'm telling you, we make a damn good computer. And I'm confident in our computer. And there was very little learning curve for us because we've been doing this so long. But when we're selling computers to the public here, we need to keep really intelligent people in creating these jobs to keep really intelligent people in the Youngstown area. That is the part or the purpose of what it is that we do. I don't want to see gifted computer technicians have to seek Pittsburgh or Cleveland because they can't make any money here in Youngstown, Ohio. And so I'm going to try to, by the year's end, have 11 technical staff, on the Youngstown computer staff. You're going to see all the commercial services be completely, for the first time ever, be completely full on staffing, which our customers will benefit from that because we'll be able to field stuff so much more easily and we'll have so much more expertise. I'm just I don't know if you can tell, I'm very excited with what's happening next. So if you are interested, you have some need with the technical IT, server-based, workstation-based, equipment sales, software setup. We get to know your network and get to know your needs, and then we work on your behalf. I'm a bulldog when it comes to working with vendors and really being an advocate for you and your business and what is you do. Please call our office, 330-259-7278. Leave a message for me. Let me know what you're in the need for, and I'll make sure that at some point next week I'll sit down with you, and we'll go over what your business needs are. All right, we're going to take a break, come back, take some more phone calls, 330-729-9977. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Hey, gang, we do the show live every day, 8 to noon, but if you can't catch it, we're on the podcast. Just search Dan Rivers 570 WKBN.
The Nikki Fiesel Foundation presents Fire and Thunder at the Hollow. Join me, Fast Freddy, at 93.3 The Wolf on Saturday, July 27th for the 9th annual Nikki Fiesel Cystic Fibrosis Explosion of Hope benefit at Buffalo Hollow in Petersburg. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow is going to be bigger and better than before. 4 fireworks shows, choreographed to music, skydivers if the weather permits, camping, and so much more. Gates open at 4. Tickets at NikkiFieselFoundation.org. Fire and Thunder at the Hollow, Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it.
At Tecovas, we make the finest handcrafted Western boots from the highest quality materials, sold only direct to you for a fair price. So why aren't you in boots? Picture it, walking into that next meeting in handsome, tough-looking boots, like you have your own soundtrack. While everyone else is in, what, loafers? You didn't kick the door down, but you look like you could have. Find your pair at Tecovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com.
Hi, Joe Flynn here, and I'm hitting the road with Flinny for some summer fun.
Before I hit the road anywhere, I'm taking my car to Flynn's first.
That's a great idea, Flinny. Before you hit the road, get a free tire check at any Flynn's Tire and Auto Service location.
And what about mechanical repairs and service?
Get a free safety check on your vehicle with any purchase, and go to Flynn'sTire.com for service coupons.
I think all our friends would like to know about that.
Go ahead and tell them, Flinny.
Be sure to get your tires and auto service at Flynn's, where the advertised tire price is the entire price. And tell them Flinny sent you.
Hey, it's Ron Verp for Nature Stone. You know garage floors, when they get wet, can be slippery and you can fall, break an arm, break a hip. They might be pitted or cracked. We can make them look terrific, and we can put all those worries behind us with the help of Nature Stone. Right now, I want you to go to naturestone.com, naturestone.com, naturestone.com. Have them come on out, give you an estimate. It's free. And you know what? You want to do it now because you can save up to 50% off during the month of July. Make sure you do it. Go to naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Summer is here, and Matt's got the barbecue out all ready to grill. That's why he trusts Super Poly Grip, so he can enjoy his steak with full confidence.
Poly Grip.
Sounds like there's a party going on, but something's missing. The birthday gal's arrived, and thanks to Polydent, her bright smile is anything but a surprise.
Polydent.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
When we started this podcast, I had read a lot of true crime. I thought I knew what I was getting into. But I wasn't prepared to stop sleeping, and for these all-too-real monsters to visit me in my nightmares. From iHeartRadio and Tenderfoot TV, Monster presents Insomniac.
iHeartRadio is #1 for podcasts, but don't take our word for it. Find Monster Presents Insomniac on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. It's your Saturday show. A little shout out to my wife. This is our anniversary today, July 13th, and I think this is like 17 years of happy marriage. She's put up with me, the erratic tech guy who invents businesses, and I don't know, always supported me from day one. We were high school sweethearts, so we've been together forever. We started dating in 1993, so I've been with her for quite a bit, and she's tolerated me from now up to this point, hopefully tolerating me for another, 17 years or so. So thanks, hon. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for putting up with me. So happy anniversary. A couple text messages that came in during that break. Any smartphone tips this week? I suggest turning on Do Not Disturb while driving. That sounds like a pretty good idea. And also VIP is another one that's pretty easy. The problem with having these Do Not Disturb settings is that everything is so manual that you only really do it sometimes. Where if you can do, you make it more automated. I hope there is one day that when you are sensed to be in a car, that your phones will behave differently than when you are not in a car, right? I mean, you would have it make sense that if you want to, make things safer, that you still have the capability of getting to the information you need, but making it so that it treats you different. Like you treat people different, you have conversations different when someone's paying attention to driving. You don't want to scare them. That would be terrible. But if they're not driving, you can scare them and laugh your butt off as they fall over. But when you're driving, it's just a different set of rules. So yeah, Do Not Disturb or VIP. We use VIP because only certain people will make my phone ring when I'm in VIP settings. So I can very easily put myself in the VIP setting, and that way if one of my office managers or my wife or important people call, then my phone rings. But if anybody else I don't know, it's not going to break my concentration and have me look at something. So I appreciate that voicemail or that text message. Somebody asked my office hours for Youngstown Pullman. I do not hold regular office hours. It's not. We don't have a publicly interface. Certain hours you can come in. It's by appointment. So if you want us to come to you, we are field services, so we will come to you. It's extremely expensive on the computer end to have someone staffing a desk for people to wander in and drop their stuff off, so we just stopped doing that. So if you'd like to make contact with us, call our office number 330-259-7278, and someone will be happy to meet up with you, pick your equipment up, something like that. So again, that office number is 330-259-7278. Thanks, everybody. We have a guest coming on next week with us, so stay tuned for that. Have a great week. You've now listened to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with